Chapter 1, Tycho's Trouble. In the heart of Yugii land, where the flowers hummed and the trees danced, lived a bundle of joy named Tycho. Tycho was a Yugii pup, not much different from his friends, except for one thing. Tycho had wings, not just any wings, but wings splashed with every color you could find in a rainbow. Each day, Tycho watched his friends play, their single-colored wings flapping merrily in the sun. There was Lila with her purple wings, Bob with his blue ones, and Rose, who had wings as pink as the dawn. They would soar around the tall whispering trees, laughing and singing. Tycho longed to join them, but he felt too different with his rainbow wings. Why can't I have wings like everyone else? Tycho sighed every time he looked at his reflection in the clear waters of the glittering stream. One sunny morning, Tycho decided it was time for a change. He trotted to the edge of the village where the painter, Mr. Brushy, lived. Mr. Brushy could paint anything, and Tycho was sure he could help. "Mr. Brushy, can you paint my wings blue like the sky?" Tycho asked with a hopeful twinkle in his eyes. Mr. Brushy, with a twirl of his mustache, chuckled. "Tycho, my dear pup, your wings are a canvas of many stories. Are you sure you want just one color?" Tycho nodded eagerly. "I want to be like my friends." So, Mr. Brushy dipped his brush in the bluest of blues and painted Tycho's wings. But as soon as the paint dried, the blue faded away, revealing the rainbow once more. They tried again, this time with green. And again with yellow. But no matter what, Tycho's wings returned to their rainbow hues. Feeling sadder than a rain cloud, Tycho thanked Mr. Brushy and went to sit by the glittering stream, his wings drooping. As he sat there, a soft voice fluttered by. "Your wings are beautiful, Tycho. Why do you want to change them?" It was Marley, the kind dragonfly who watched over Yugii land's creatures. "Because I don't fit in," Tycho whispered. "I'm not like the other pups." Marley landed gently on Tycho's nose, her wings glistening in the sunlight. "But Tycho, it's your colors that make you special. Have you ever thought that maybe you're not here to fit in, but to stand out?" Tycho looked up, puzzled. "To stand out?" "Yes," Marley said, her voice as light as the breeze. "You'll see. One day, your colors will tell a story of their own." With those words, Marley flew off, leaving Tycho by the stream, his heart full of questions and the sky above full of possibilities. Tycho's rainbow wings glistened as the water of the glittering stream mirrored the bright Yugii land sky. He watched his friends play tag between the cloud-cotton trees, their laughter echoing like the sweetest melodies. "But I am different," Tycho murmured to himself, "and different isn't good." As he sat, his eyes filled with the colors of his wings reflected in the water, he noticed something. Little fish, shimmering with all the colors of his feathers, were darting through the stream. They didn't seem to worry about being different. In fact, they were dancing. Why aren't they sad? Tycho wondered aloud. They're all so different too. Just then, a fish leaped out of the water, splashing Tycho's face and making him giggle. It was as if the fish was showing Tycho that being different was not just okay, it could be fun. He stood up, shaking off the droplets, and decided to give flying another try. Flapping his colorful wings, he lifted into the air. A breeze caught him, and he looped around, a swirl of colors against the blue. The other Yugii pups stopped their game and stared, their eyes wide. Tycho felt a lump in his throat. Maybe they were going to laugh at him, or maybe they'd tell him he didn't belong. But that's not what happened. "Wow, Tycho, your wings are amazing!" Lila called out, her purple wings flapping in excitement. "Yeah, they're like a flying rainbow," Bob added, zooming up to get a closer look. Tycho felt a warmth spreading through his chest. He had expected to feel more alone, but instead, he felt closer to his friends than ever. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades that rivaled Tycho's own, the Yugii pups invited him to play. "Come on, Tycho! Let's play before the day ends," Rose shouted, her pink wings shimmering in the twilight. And for the first time, Tycho didn't feel the need to hide or change. With a joyful squawk, he joined the game, his rainbow trail a vibrant streak in the evening sky. The Yugii pups played until the stars blinked awake, and as Tycho flew home, he thought about what Marley the dragonfly had said. Maybe, Tycho whispered with a newfound belief, it's not so bad being different after all. Chapter 2: The Sky Garden's Gloom. Tycho woke up the next morning to a sky that seemed to have lost its sparkle. He stretched his wings and hopped out of his nest, curious about the strange grayness that hung over Yugii land. As he made his way to the center of the village, he noticed that everything looked less colorful than usual. Even the bright flowers seemed to droop, their petals lacking the usual vividness. "What's happening?" Tycho asked Lila, who was usually the first to know all the village news. "It's the sky gardens," Lila replied with a worried frown. "They are fading, and nobody knows why." The sky gardens were the pride of Yugii land. Floating high above, they were the source of joy and color for all the Yugii pups. It was said that as long as the sky gardens bloomed, Yugii land would be a place of happiness and laughter. "Let's go see," Tycho suggested, a sense of adventure stirring within him. Together with Lila, Bob, Rose, and a few other curious pups, Tycho flew towards the sky gardens. The journey was usually a quick flutter of wings, but today, a heavy mist made it hard to see, and the air felt thick and heavy. When they arrived, the sight was disheartening. The once bright clouds of the sky gardens were now shades of gray and white, the flowers wilting and the leaves curling in sadness. "Oh no," Rose gasped. "It's worse than I imagined. We need to do something," Bob declared, but his voice held a note of defeat. "What could they do?" Tycho flapped his wings, hovering in place. The colors of his feathers stood out against the dreariness. He felt a tug at his heart, an echo of Marley's words about standing out. Could he help? Tycho wasn't sure, but the sky gardens needed someone to do something, even if they were different. Especially if they were different. "Let's talk to the elder pups," Tycho said. "They've been around much longer than us. They might know how to bring the colors back." The pups agreed, and with a mix of hope and fear, they flew back down to seek the wisdom of their elders. The group landed softly among the ancient whispering trees where the elder pups gathered. The eldest of them all, Grandpup Rowan, sat quietly, his eyes closed as if listening to a story only he could hear. Tycho and his friends approached cautiously, their hearts thumping like little drums. "Grandpup Rowan," Tycho called out gently, not wanting to startle the old Yugii pup. Rowan's eyes fluttered open, sparkling like stars. "Ah, the young ones," he said, his voice as deep and comforting as the earth. "What brings you to us on such a day?" "The sky gardens," Lila said quickly, "they're fading." Rowan nodded slowly, his expression grave. "Yes, we have seen this. The sky gardens reflect the heart of Yugii land, and they are in sorrow." "But why, Grandpup? And what can we do?" Tycho asked, his colorful wings drooping with worry. The elder pups exchanged looks, their eyes filled with memories and knowledge of yesteryears. "It is as the cycles go," Grandpup Willow whispered, her voice like the rustling leaves. "The sky gardens need the touch of a rainbow to bloom. It's been so long since the last chromatic flight." "A rainbow?" Bob puzzled. "But rainbows come after rain, and there's been no rain." "That's not the rainbow we mean, young Bob," Grandpup Rowan interjected. "It's a special kind of rainbow, one that comes from the heart, from joy, from celebrating what makes each of us unique." The pups looked at each other, unsure. How could they create such a rainbow? Tycho thought of his wings, a natural tapestry of every shade. Could he be the rainbow the sky gardens needed? The idea seemed as wild as a stormy wind, but it fluttered in his heart with growing strength. Grandpup Rowan's gaze settled on Tycho, as if seeing right through to his swirling thoughts. "Sometimes," the old Yugii pup said softly, "the answer to our troubles is right in front of us, fluttering with life and color." Tycho felt all eyes on him. He shuffled his paws, the weight of possibility pressing on his shoulders. "Me?" Tycho's voice was a mere whisper, almost lost in the breeze. "Am I the rainbow you speak of?" The elder pups smiled, their eyes twinkling with encouragement. "It's time for you to find out, Tycho," Grandpup Willow said warmly. "The sky gardens await their rainbow." With a deep breath, Tycho nodded. If there was even a chance he could help, he had to try. Chapter 3, The Elder's Tale, Page 1. The dawn had not yet cracked the Yugii land sky, but Tycho was already awake, his mind a whirlwind of thoughts. Today, he would attempt to restore the sky gardens, to bring back the colors that had vanished from the high-floating paradise. Tycho joined the elder pups and his friends at the base of the oldest tree in Yugii land, the Great Wisdom Oak. Its branches stretched up as if cradling the morning stars that still twinkled faintly in the sky. Long ago, Grandpup Rowan began, his voice echoing softly, Yugii land faced a time much like this. The sky gardens had lost their hue, and with it, the joy of our land began to fade. Tycho listened, his heart thumping in his chest. Around him, the other pups sat in a semicircle, their eyes wide with wonder and anticipation. It was then that a young Yugii pup, not unlike yourselves, discovered the secret of the chromatic flight, continued Grandpup Willow. It is a flight of pure heart, a dance in the sky that weaves joy and color back into the world. The pups looked at each other, realizing the gravity of the tale. They had all heard stories of the great feats of past Yugii pups, but they had thought them just that, stories. Is the chromatic flight just a legend? Rose asked, her pink wings folded neatly behind her. Not a legend, but a rare truth, answered Grandpup Barkley, his voice as textured as the bark of the trees he loved. It requires a pup whose heart is bold and wings are full of life's tapestry. All eyes slowly turned to Tycho. His wings, even in the dim light of the breaking day, glowed with a myriad of colors. But how do I perform this chromatic flight? Tycho's voice trembled, not from fear, but from the thrill of an unfolding adventure. The chromatic flight isn't something you perform, it's something you feel, Grandpup Rowan said, looking deeply at Tycho. It comes from embracing who you are and sharing that joy with the world. Tycho pondered Grandpup Rowan's words. Embracing who he was? That was what Marley the dragonfly had said, too. And remember, Tycho, Grandpup Willow added, her eyes gentle, you don't have to do this alone. The heart of Yugii land beats in all of us. Tycho nodded, a newfound resolve settling in his heart. He wouldn't be flying just for himself, but for all of Yugii land. The task seemed monumental, yet somehow, Tycho felt ready. As the first rays of sun peeked over the horizon, Tycho spread his wings. It was time for the day to begin, and perhaps, time for the sky gardens to bloom once again. The first rays of the sun bathed the Great Wisdom Oak in a soft golden light, and the Yugii pups felt the warmth on their fur. Tycho's rainbow wings shimmered, reflecting the light in a mosaic of colors. Each Yugii pup has a unique path, Grandpup Rowan said, gesturing to the sky with a gentle nod. The path of the chromatic flight is yours, Tycho. Trust in your wings, for they carry the hopes of all Yugii land. The elder pups stood, forming a circle around Tycho. They began to chant softly, a melody that seemed as ancient as the stars. It was a song of encouragement, a harmonic push toward destiny. Tycho felt the music fill him, lifting his spirits and lightening the weight of his task. He looked at his friends, their eyes filled with belief and admiration, and he knew he wasn't alone in this. You must reach the highest point of the sky gardens, Grandpup Willow instructed, her voice rising above the chant. There, let your heart and wings unite and guide your dance. Tycho nodded, taking a deep breath, filling his lungs with the crisp morning air. He felt the energy of Yugii land pulsing beneath his paws, and with a determined squeak, he leapt into the air. His friends cheered, their voices blending with the elder's song, creating a chorus of support that followed Tycho as he ascended towards the sky gardens. With each beat of his wings, Tycho rose higher, the world below becoming a tapestry of movement and life. He passed the tops of the whispering trees, where the leaves whispered secrets of encouragement. Higher and higher he climbed, until the village of Yugii land was just a patchwork of colors below him. The gray mist of the sky gardens loomed ahead, a challenge waiting to be met. Tycho paused, hovering at the edge of the mist. This was it, the moment of truth. Could he really do this? Was he truly the rainbow that the Sky Gardens needed? He thought of the elder pup's words, of his friends' cheers, and of the fish in the glittering stream. They all believed in him, and maybe, just maybe, it was time he believed in himself too. With a newfound confidence, Tycho flew forward, ready to embrace his destiny and paint the sky with the colors of joy. Chapter 4, Tycho's Attempt, Page 1. Tycho plunged into the mist, his heart a drumbeat echoing through the silence of the Sky Gardens. The fog swirled around him, damp and cool, and for a moment, he felt alone. But then he remembered the songs and cheers of his friends and the wise words of the elders. As he flew higher, the mist began to thin, and Tycho could see the faded colors of the Sky Gardens. The once vibrant hues were now just whispers of their former glory. The petals and leaves seemed to reach out to him, yearning for the life they once knew. With resolve, Tycho reached the highest point of the Sky Gardens. Here, the clouds were a canvas waiting for the touch of a painter. Tycho took a deep breath, trying to feel the joy he was supposed to share, trying to summon the chromatic flight from within. But nothing happened. Tycho flapped his wings harder, willing the colors to burst forth, but all he felt was the beat of his own heart and the chill of the high altitude. He spiraled up and down, twirled and looped, but the gray remained gray. He stopped, hovering in midair, panting. Doubt crept into his mind, whispering that perhaps he was not the Yugii pup meant for this task. Maybe he misunderstood what the elders had said. After all, what power could his little wings possibly hold? Just then, a break in the clouds allowed a beam of sunlight to shine through, illuminating Tycho's wings. The colors shone brightly, casting reflections on the dull clouds around him. It was a fleeting moment of beauty, and it brought a smile to Tycho's face. "That's it, Tycho," a voice called from below. It was Marley, the dragonfly, flitting up toward him. "Your smile, your joy, that's the key." Tycho looked down and saw all of Yugii land watching him, their faces full of hope and encouragement. He wasn't just Tycho with the different wings anymore. He was Tycho, their beacon of hope, their potential savior of the Sky Gardens. With Marley's words warming his heart, Tycho decided to try again. This time, not just with the desire to change things, but with the joy of all the good things he already had, his friends, his home, and his unique wings. He closed his eyes, took another deep breath, and began to fly. Not with desperation, but with delight. Not with fear, but with freedom. And as Tycho embraced the true essence of the chromatic flight, a small ripple of color started to unfurl from his wings, reaching out to the lifeless clouds.